Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we doing this morning, guys?
Outstanding.
We're
It's
doing
weekend.
great.
Bruh, it's Friday, and y'all
Yes,
are
it
with
is.
the Married to Sports podcast. This episode is brought to you by Heaven Sent, Hellbent Gear. Get your HSHB gear 15% off. Promo code MARRIED and Styles Apparel. Before we get into a whole lot, did some research last night, and my son happens to be related to the greatest athlete of all time. Down the lineage, and it's some cousins, okay? But we
Okay.
are my
Michael
son
Jordan.
is related to Jim Thorpe.
I
Wow.
was getting ready to say Jim Thorpe because I know the connection there. I got you. I
So my
got you.
wife is Potawatomi, and Jim Thorpe was mainly Sac and Fox, but there was some marriage through, and so from some marriage and some distant cousins and everything, my son we found out is Potawatomi and is related to Jim Thorpe. He's part of the Rod family. It's RHODD. And so we go to the family reunion every year, and it was either this past year or the year before they actually honored that family. And so, doing some digging and some research, Jim Thorpe is actually related to my son. So my son has some Jim Thorpe blood. Let's go. Gonna put him in the Olympics.
That's so cool. I was being funny guessing Michael Jordan, of course. You know that.
Man, I wish.
Well, yeah, but them being in Oklahoma and Brandon sharing a little bit of about his family and stuff with me, I was sitting there going, could he join Jim Thorpe? Because I know he had some ancestry there. So that's awesome, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's from Prague. My wife, her mom actually grew up in Prague, and it is a little bitty podunk town. You blink, you miss it. There's, I think, a VFW, and I think that's all that's there. Like, I mean, they have a Kalachki festival.
Kind of sounds right, but we'll
It's
go
like
with it.
you eat it. It's food. It's
Yeah.
like this. But anyway, uh, but yeah. So my wife did some digging last night and turned around. My son and my wife are both related to Jim Thorpe. That's cool as heck. Um,
That is,
explains the athleticism and the natural
yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
And
Your wife
so,
plays professional football.
yeah, my wife plays
There you
professional
go.
football. And to be honest with you, she doesn't work out like all the other girls, and she's just athletic. Like she's just athletic than everybody else. And it's
Brandon, we know who runs the household. Okay, we got you.
now stop it.
Got you.
I still wear the pants. Stop it. Oh, I
You
mean,
may wear the
y'all gonna
pants.
get me in
You may
trouble.
wear the
Oh, I'm
pants,
gonna
but
get.
who wear? Hold on. I got a serious question. You may wear the pants, but who wears the attitude?
That goes both ways.
I was gonna I was gonna say Brandon can wear the pants, but she holds the belt.
That's why I was going by that question. You got it, Dio.
Yeah, yeah, I'll give you that. I wear the pants, but she's got that belt.
I love it. I love
You
it.
knew
uh,
where I was going, Dio.
I know. I know.
so, real quick, um, I want to run through this hockey really fast. We got a whole lot to get to today. Uh, but I don't know if you guys happen to see any of. Oh wow, that Ducks Bruins game. Bruins were up by a lot, so I turned that game off. But turned around, apparently that was a good game because the Ducks came back and beat the Bruins 7-5. But the Blackhawks and Lightning, I thought was the best game of the day yesterday. Did you happen to go see any of that yesterday?
I watched the highlights, and I'm hoping they're going to re-air it on NHL Network sometime today because I actually want to watch that game.
Man,
I
they
didn't
were
get to watch any of
flying.
the hockey.
Go ahead, Bird. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
You
you
know,
off.
the,
No, as I said, I didn't get to watch any of the hockey. I apologize. We were focused on other things.
we
I
are
just
in we are in the busiest part of a sports cycle right now because you've had two leagues just ramp up. You only have college basketball here yet. You have NBA, NHL that's now rocketing off. almost to the middle of the NFL season. You got the World Series this weekend starting tonight, and like I said, college basketball's coming, and so it's a lot to keep up with.
I was going to say that we got while two are leagues are going ramping up, we got one going down. The baseball shutting down here
Yeah,
shortly
yeah.
in the
Well, game
next
one's
week or
tonight.
so.
Game one of the World
Yep.
Series is tonight. Um, I didn't see what Pee Wee football was on tonight.
Let me put on my Toronto Blue Jays hat here. There we go. Go Blue
Oh,
Jays.
go Blue Jays. Blue Jays in 7. Let's go. But
I got them in 6. But
you got them in 6.
yeah. We can get to the World Series here in a minute.
Um, the Red Wings got blown out by the Islanders, and I was trying to see what your Maple Leafs did.
They play tonight.
No, they play tonight. Okay.
Yeah, they're in Buffalo tonight.
And then you're a Panthers fan, right, Bird? No, that's Florida.
No,
No, Hurricane.
He's
Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes.
So y'all beat Colorado in a shootout.
That's a good win. That's a good win for them because Colorado is probably one of the favorites in the Western Conference this year.
I agree. The Avalanche looked really good in that first couple games I watched in the season.
Yeah,
They were good last
they're
year.
going
I think the
to be
Kraken.
there probably with. They're probably going to be there probably with Edmonton again, but I think there's going to be a few other teams that come up. Which when we get into more of the hockey season, we can kind of see where they're at. After a month. But,
Now,
yeah,
I'm a Red Wings
there's
fan,
some,
and I'm rooting for them. But look out for the Kraken. Look out for the Seattle
yeah,
Kraken.
Yep, that's another one. They took down the Leafs the other night. The Leafs.
They played the
I wanna
Jets
see where
last
they're
night
at.
and shut them out.
I want to see where they're at in a few weeks because right now the Leafs got me a little nervous how they started this season out. I don't know if it's the new players we've got in there that are still getting their rhythm with the rest of the team, but they're looking a little sloppy right now, a little rough.
A little rough.
A little rough. But it's early in the season, so it's a long season too. So
I know for the Red Wings, we have a lot of speed. We have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of youth, which is good. We have Patrick Kane who's getting up there, but we definitely need him back. Like him being gone these last couple of games, it's like our young guys don't know what to do. Like he can't, and it's sad that he's the glue because he's getting up there in age. I really need a young guy to take over.
Well, and what I was going to say is, the Maple Leafs, a lot of the fans would always scratch their heads whenever they'd bring in a veteran like a Kane,
Yeah,
and it's almost like you're putting a coach on the ice. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're good out there in instant communication at a face-off, or if they're changing out, there's fresh legs. It's good to have a veteran out there because they played so much hockey and they have so much experience that they can say, "Hey, man, you're gonna have to back off. You're gonna have to pull back, because if we turn it over, you got an extra skater back there to help defend with the goalie." And some of these young guys just get overzealous and over anxious, and they end up too top heavy in their own zone. And if there is a turnover, you end up with a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, to the goal, and the goalie is at a disadvantage. So
yeah.
it's great to have a veteran like Kane on the Red Wings this year because even though he can still, do what he did when he played in his prime, he still has it and he's still wanting to play. But he is so beneficial to these young kids, to be out there, because they can't hear the coach yelling, during these games, but they can hear a teammate that's pretty much like a coach at that point.
It's almost like having that quarterback on the sidelines that's had 15 years in the league and at the last end of the career, but they still want to get paid. So they out there on the sideline coaching up the youngsters.
Exactly, Rod. That's a great example. That's exactly it.
Speaking of coaching up the youngsters, I'll tell you who's done a great job is Jameis Winston coaching up Jackson Dart. I thought Russell Wilson was going to be the one to mentor him and bring him up, but it's Jameis Winston that's got the headset on. It's Jameis Winston that's looking at the tablet. It's Jameis Winston that's really getting this kid pumping and be like, hey, man, you got it. And I'm really sad the Giants did not let him play for a contract. But just like Jameis Winston is doing with Jackson Dart, I know Patrick Kane is doing that with the young buck on our squad. We need a young buck to step up in the absence of his why he's gone. Like he's on injury right now, and so I think it's just going to be a couple more games. I don't think it's supposed to be too long, but I need to look. I need to relook that up. But
they've got some
is they? I know he's day to day.
midpoint players on that team. They've got some midpoint players on that team that are probably in about year 8, of playing in the league they're holding it. I mean, look, y'all went on a 5-game winning streak. It's hard to win 5 hockey games in a row. So yeah, you're gonna drop you dropped a couple back to back, but you're probably tired. They're looking forward to probably a two-day rest because that's what the Maple Leafs just got. They got a 3-day rest. So they're going to be fresh tonight. Buffalo's just played, I think, back-to-back games. Or they maybe had yesterday off. I had to look at the schedule. But, that's what I'm getting at. I think the Maple Leafs might have the advantage tonight because they're going to be rested.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, let me check here. If Buffalo's played 2 nights in a row, they're going to be tired. No, they had last night off. But they've only had a day of rest. So they'll, they're not going to be as fresh as Toronto. So
where's the game at?
Thinking that might pull it out. It's in Buffalo, where y'all played the other night, but
okay,
that's pretty much a home game for Toronto. I mean, there's so many Toronto fans in New York, New York State. But
I think we were in New York. New York.
Yeah,
Denver,
you were
right?
at Buffalo the other night. You were
Or Buffalo, yeah. Yeah, but we were at
Yeah,
the
Buffalo.
Stadium.
Yep, you played at Buffalo the other night, and look, their defense just wore your guys down, and they kept y'all from shooting. They kept and I know you mentioned they turned it over a lot. That's not that is a sign of youth on your team. But these defensemen at Buffalo, they always go after these great defensemen. They'll just start looking at teams where they know a contract's about to end, and Buffalo go, "Hey, what do you want for that guy?" And so that shows they have a good GM, but they're too defense driven. You got to have some snipers on that team, and so I'm interested to see how Buffalo's season progresses because after a while, teams are going to figure out how to work around that defense. Because right now they're just they're stonewalling them, but
I know the Islanders
teams will
whooped us
figure it
last
out.
night, but last night we had better puck handling than we did, and I'm not even talking about. And I know the Sabres are a good defensive team, but there was like times when you shouldn't be worried about losing the puck, and we were losing the puck against the Sabres. And that's what was irritating to me. Like I like the fact that we're fast and we're flying around everywhere, but can we get some kind of control? Because we just looked like we was out of control. And then I didn't watch a whole lot of the Islanders. I was watching the football game, but the beginning of the Red Wings Islanders game, it was 1-0. But like we had a whole lot better control of the puck. We were playing a little more fluid there for a little while, and then it just seemed like we ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now,
let me ask
go ahead,
you a
Rodney.
question.
Go ahead, Rodney.
Compared to other sports, is hockey the one sport that you run out of gas quicker? Like energy wise?
Have you ever skated? Roller
No,
skate?
I have not.
Rollerblade?
Coordination wise, I can never skate. I'll admit.
They always say, when you watch some of these things, they always say leg day, because that is huge for these skaters. They have got to have their legs in shape. They've got to have that muscle built up because they'll get 2 minutes of time on ice out there, and that's when you see guys jumping on and guys jumping off the ice because their legs are burning. especially if it's fast paced and it's back and forth. They've got to exchange them out for fresh legs. That's why I always say fresh legs, because you know you end up playing two games out of 2 games in 3 days. You still got practice skating, when you travel or when you're at home. These guys kind of get rest and they kind of don't. So but a lot of times, mid-season they're in that groove of their bodies adjust to it. Right now it's early season. You got a lot of just getting back into hockey speed is what I'm saying. But Brandon, in all fairness, last night, your starting goalie did not play. They gave him the night off.
Right.
That was,
he played a great job against. Yeah, he had a busy night against the Sabres.
Exactly. So you got to look. The other night, he gave up 4 goals, but he was under assault all night. Because
I think they had like 30 shots.
Yeah. So last night, the Islanders got 7 goals against your backup, and that happens. And if you guys are
no one a good look
either,
either,
guys, it's going to happen. That's a giveaway game, is what it is. They're kind of like, you know what, we're going to give our guys some rest, because to me it's different than basketball. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know you only have 11 guys, usually sitting over there in basketball, but hockey, their legs, they're burning so much energy out there skating. So, and taking hits. Huge difference.
It'll get better. It will get better. Panthers beat the Panthers. Penguins beat the Panthers 5-3. Crosby, Sid the Kid looked good last night.
He still got it, man. He still got it. That's why I'm not ready to call him Sid the Old Man. It's because he's getting there, but he's still Sid the Kid. He always will be Sid the Kid to me. That's his nickname. It's going to be there forever.
He looked good last night. Had a good performance. It seems like he found the fountain of youth. He's such a good player. He's such a fun player to watch. He's not as fun as Gretzky was, but man, is he a fun player to watch. I don't think anybody's going to be as fun as Gretzky. Even Ovechkin was nice, but he was just a scorer, dude. He didn't play both sides of the puck. I mean, he did, but he didn't.
Is Mario Lemieux still in the organization with the Penguins? Because he is on that team, or I forget what he was doing at one point.
Yeah, because the kid had 2 goals and 1 assist last night. I mean, what can you say? It's like, okay, he still got it.
His over-under last night was for 2.5 points. And I was like...
he got it. No, he got that.
Real?
Yeah. You mentioned the Blackhawks last night. That was a good win to go down to Tampa and get that one. That's not an easy place to play. And, I mean, Tampa supports that team. They love their Lightning. It's big down there.
Both of them played well.
What's crazy is most of the Stanley Cups won in the previous years have been either Tampa or Florida. It's kind of like, when's the cup going to leave Florida, boys?
And are they favored? Is one of those teams favored this year, you think? Or is it going to be Edmonton? Or?
Well, Edmonton's been back-to-back. And last year, the Panthers just went ahead and put them down quick. But the Panthers were the team that ended the season the year prior. The Panthers were a wild card when they got in 2 years ago, and they ended up winning the Cup. And then they were that team all, pretty much throughout the year. Now, the Capitals won the President's Cup again. But, that's because Ovechkin scores a bunch of goals, but they end up, when they get in the playoffs, it's like you're playing good teams on a constant basis. It doesn't transition into the playoffs. That team just isn't the same for some reason. So, you've had the Lightning win the Cup, then you had the Panthers winning the Cup. I think, it's kind of gotten to the point where the rest of the country and Canada are going, please somebody else get the cup out of Florida. It stayed down there the past 4 years. So, I mean, Canada hadn't won a cup and it's been a minute because, for a while there, Canada thinned out on some teams and they came to the U.S. and then a couple of them have gone back. So, but it's crazy. There's more hockey teams in America now than there is in Canada.
You know what team I wish they would get back in Canada? I always liked the logo, the Nordiques, if I'm saying that right, the Quebec Nordiques.
I spent some time up there outside of Montreal. And honestly, they only want one team in that province. They don't want two teams. The
I
fans,
get it, but I
the
just love
fans,
the logo.
I know, but the fans are, the Habs, the Habitats, and that's all they want. And now Toronto's thinking about trying to get a second expansion team in Toronto, which me as a fan, I don't want that. I think it's going to water down that city, and it's big enough for two teams. It is, but I don't want to see it because it would be like in New York having the Islanders and the Rangers, or LA having the Chargers and the Rams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. To me, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's all there is for that city. That's my team. But
You got Orioles and Nationals. I mean, it's different, but I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
you got it's the belt line. That's what I'm saying in that way.
yeah. So, the Nordiques. Yeah, I remember the Nordiques. I still have hockey cards somewhere, or my oldest son has them now, of Quebec Nordiques. But I think you'll see another team in Toronto before you'll see one ever back in that province. But we had some sick points put up last night in the NBA. I don't know if you guys saw some of the stats.
Yeah.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
stats guy, but when I see some of those individual scores, I'm like, he put up how many? I mean, Aaron for the Nuggets last night, 50.
Yeah.
And they still lost. And then you had Steph Curry with 42, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Steph Curry had 42.
But Steph Curry scored those points when they really mattered. Now, Aaron hit that three right at the end to make it go overtime. And then they ran out of gas. And Steph Curry just shut it down.
I think it was Draymond Green setting a screen, and then Curry shooting a three from almost the logo. Tied the game up at 117.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
It's ridiculous that you even take that shot, let alone that you take that shot and make it. And you shot it like you knew you was going to make it.
This is the only time I'm going to do this, but I want to hear it. At halftime, who said that the Warriors were going to come back and win that game?
You did.
Oh, Lord. Dio.
Okay. All right.
Dio.
All right. So that, I'm not a Warriors fan, but there you go.
To be 100% honest, man, I thought Denver was just going to be too much. They were blowing. I mean, they were really.
Oh, they were.
Bringing it to them the first half.
But then I look at Steph Curry and Draymond Green and the rest of those guys on the team, and I'm like, they're not going to let that go. They're going to come back, and they did, and they made it. They made it nail biter right there at the regulation, and they go into overtime. But Steph Curry he took control of that game in the overtime. And when they were up by, I think 9 at one point, I was like, there's not enough time for Denver. And they were gassed. They looked tired. It's a great game, though. Stayed up late to watch it.
The Warriors played defense that second half. The first two quarters, they gave up 31 and 39. The third and fourth quarter, they gave up 24 and 26. 50 points. And then OT,
they only that fourth quarter. Yeah.
OT, they gave up 11. But yeah, Aaron Gordon had 50. Steph Curry had 42. Um, Jamal Murray played 40 minutes and shot 50%. Uh, trying to see what his
Here's the funny thing about that. I was looking at my parlay from last night. Aaron Gordon was over 14 and a half points. I took the over. I could have had that three help me out here, 3 times over and still
Yeah.
hit it every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And I remember when Aaron was one of those guys that I had trouble even wanting to put him on a parlay or a team, on a fantasy because he was hot and cold. But man, has that kid not come up and pretty much made himself a presence alongside with, Jokic, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Jokic, yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with those names, but
And to be honest, Theo, not to cut you off, that's because he got Orlando. That's,
mm,
I mean, you look at, and I'm bad with names too. Is it Vujicic or however you say his name?
Huh?
who was
He and
that?
Gordon were teammates in Orlando at one point. They were trying to build around him, and it didn't work out, so they traded both of them. And Aaron Gordon has had a better career now that he's been traded than if he had stayed in Orlando.
Yeah, and, and that's like any other sport though. You got a dog, and not. And when I say a dog, I mean like they're not good in that sense, and they end up kicking them to the curb. Look at Mayfield. He got booted by Cleveland, went to Carolina. They traded him to the Rams, and then he ends up in Tampa, and he's having a stellar year so far. You got Indiana Jones, leaving New York, going to Indy, and look at the season. I mean, it just sometimes it works that way. You got baseball players that weren't good at one program at a city. They trade them to another team, and all of a sudden they're like Gold Glove and you know batting average champion. I mean, all kind of stupid stuff. To where you're like, what the hell?
I've always had a question about baseball. Always had a question about baseball here. Before DH came to both leagues, right?
Yep.
Why is it an AL player could not go to the NL and be real good, or vice versa? I mean, I never understood it. It's the same game. What did the league have to do with it?
Well, pitching. Now, when they were doing the DH only in American League, the pitching always seemed to be a factor. But I will tell you this: when the American League had to play in a National League park, when they started the interleague play, um, you had some pitchers like Wainwright for the Cardinals. That guy could hit, and I mean, even there were some pitchers back in the day that could hit in the National League. I mean, they weren't
Crazy.
just an easy out, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad they finally just did the DH all around because there were times where you're like, yeah, that pitcher's not doing anything. That's just I mean, that's an automatic out every inning, And I kind of got tired of it, because
Yeah,
I'd watch American League games and go, wow, that was a lot of offense. You see what I mean? Because they could have bases loaded and the pitcher comes up to bat. Guess what? Bases, you left three on base. That's what happened.
Pinch hit.
So yeah, but then you'd have to pull your pitcher, and it might mess up your rotation or your bullpen.
That's
So
true.
I mean, you were playing with fire no matter what you did in that situation back before they changed it. But I'm glad it's now in both leagues. I love the interleague play. I love to see the Mets and Yankees play. You know what I mean? I love the Dodgers Angels. Those matchups. Those are great. And I think it's good for baseball and good for the fans because for years you'd have to travel to an American League stadium only to see an American League team playing that other American League team. But now it's a lot closer for you to travel to a stadium near you if you're wanting to see a particular team that's in the other league. And I think that was a smart move by baseball. And I think it benefited everybody, fans and players. because they built some rivalries up now. That used to not be a rivalry. You got this city over here and this city over here halfway across the country, and they've had some nasty games, and they're real chippy. And so you're always looking forward to those games when they come up. You're going like, ooh, Tampa's playing this team. And last time they played, the benches cleared 3 times. So you're looking forward to something going on. So it gives you anticipation when you normally wouldn't care.
And it's like Atlanta and Boston, the Braves. I mean, Boston used to be the Boston Braves. I mean, that's a natural rivalry, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Never thought of that as a rivalry, ever.
Well,
I don't mean rivalry like that. I mean like the historical value of the teams.
But it's like when San Francisco Giants play one of the New York teams. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get that the Giants Yankees rivalry, I understand. The Braves Red Sox rivalry, I've never once heard that in my life.
Well, you had the
Milwaukee Braves and the Boston Braves. I get all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know Warren Spahn. I've had coffee with Warren Spahn. I get it. The whole time he's
rivalry may be the wrong word, but I was just saying the historical linkage between
there you go. That's where you need to. That's exactly right, Bird. There you go. You got there. That caboose finally got to the station.
Golly, Bird.
Well, that's like the Milwaukee Brewers. Same thing. They were
Yeah.
I knew where I was going, but my mouth wouldn't get there.
I already wrote it down 10 times. You want me to hold the papers up again?
No, I don't.
You're good, buddy. You're good. But yeah, somehow we got into baseball here when we were talking about basketball, but that's okay. I'm sorry if I sidetracked us there, but the only thing I'm going to bring up about the basketball right now is, and I've asked this question to other people, and I don't think I've ever asked you guys. Do you remember when the games were like 87 to 72, or maybe a 73 to 69, and now it's 142 to 138? I'm like, what's changed? What has changed? Is it the rules? Is it the talent? Is it a combination of both?
A little bit of little column A, little column B. So I think Steph Curry is what's changed the game. Being honest, you're a little older than me, so the games, the '60s and '70s games that you're talking about, those used to be low scoring games.
Yeah. Well, Wilt Chamberlain used to put numbers up like that, though. Like Wilt Chamberlain used to have games like Jordan would have sometimes.
Right.
But it was but now it's like,
doesn't Wilt
have
a 100-point game? I think
that's what right, but it was a special and rare occasion and moment in that sports history. But now it's kind of like, holy crap! Is there any defense in that game?
Or they come to expect it? That's the point.
In the 90s, 2000s, it was like 88 to 99. If you scored anywhere from 88 to 99, you were on average of the league. If you had 101 to 103, that was a high-scoring game back when Kobe and Jordan were going at it.
Yeah, but but it also tells me that they've gotten rid of the Rodmans, the Lambeers,
Ben Wallace's.
Yeah. So, look, I like offense in any sport. Trust me, I do. But I also like to see some defense too, and that's kind of what I'm bringing up in this whole NBA situation right now. I don't even want to get into the quagmire of what's going on in the NBA with the other stuff today. If you guys want to talk about it, feel free. I'm going to remain silent on it. I want to watch, see what happens. But
did enough talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at these games going now, but like I said though, that game last night with the Warriors and Nuggets, I mean, it was a great game.
Yeah.
But I'm also going, there was a lot of threes and there's not a lot of defense there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we're not going in the paint anymore, boys.
Theo, I know Brandon won't remember this, but I'm sure you will. Well, I will Marymount. When Hank Gathers was there, Do you remember some nights we'd turn on Sports Center at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when we couldn't watch the game? And it'd
Yeah.
be 150 to,
Yeah.
I mean, that's when it was starting, but we never got there, is my
Yeah.
point. But now we officially got there, and we want to take Pandora's box and throw it out because we love the defensive gains,
Yeah.
but it'll never happen again.
But I mean, yeah, so what it tells me is they've gotten so picky on these fouls that teams have abandoned trying to be those Lambeers, the Waltons, and you're kind of taking it away, because I like to see some physicality in basketball. I do, and I don't like to see a bunch of flopping because that drives me. And I can't stand it when NFL players try it because that's a full contact sport. And when you got somebody try to flop, I'm going, are you for real? You're supposed to be grown ass man,
And it's funnier looking in football than it is in basketball.
Yeah, they're wearing pads and a helmet. I mean, come on. I mean, look, the court hurts. It does. I mean, it's wood. I mean, it's gonna, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt when you hit it. Even if you flop, you're still kind of putting your body in a little bit of jeopardy that you land wrong, you could really mess something up, and it backfires on you, right? You get an injury that was unnecessary. But I don't know. I don't want to take away the offense from the side of the game, but I want to see some defense and let them play. That's what I'm really just saying. I don't want to police the refs here, but I want to let them play and see some damn games where, instead of a 129-89 blowout, I'm kind of like, holy shit, that's ridiculous. And there's already been a couple of games so far where it was like that other team was not even in the game.
Yeah.
But
they've done a great job putting the right games on so far.
Yeah.
And I know with everything that happened yesterday, maybe they've got a little more control of it than we think. But the Thunder went to double overtime in opening night and last night. And that's a long time. That's a long time to play. 2 back-to-back games where you went into double overtime. But the thing with that game, everybody was playing defense on both that game and the Golden State Nuggets game. They were playing defense. Now Joker is not as a big in the paint as I'd like him to be. I think if you're going to be that big, you need to be like Shaq. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. He's not built like Shaq. He's tall, but he's not built like Shaq.
But Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous, Chet is actually starting to be more physical and start to bang with those big guys, even though he's he's still not big enough. Hartenstein will get down there and bang, but Shai at all 3 levels is really he's becoming a better player every game. The way he's able to contort his body and get to the line, play defense, it's going to be between Wemby and Shai this year for Defensive Player of the Year and for MVP.
So I want to bring something up real quick because, it's back-to-back overtime games for the Thunder. And, when you guys, both of you know who won the Super Bowl last year, right? The Eagles. So everybody is going to give the Eagles their best the first time they get to play them. And that's what's going on with the Thunder right now. They are getting the best a team can throw at them, because they won the championship last year, and they're going to face that a lot. Now, as the season progresses, teams are going to fall off on that because if they do get that win off of them, they're kind of like, yeah, we just beat the champs, because they want to be that first team to beat the champs, from the previous year. So, the Thunder's in for a lot of that early in the season. But as it goes on, it's going to dwindle down, and you're not going to see a lot of overtime games with the Thunder.
And you know what? it's hard, and I'm gonna say this: it's hard to really win back-to-back championships in any league, but it's especially harder in football, I think, because everybody wants your best, gives you your best shot day in and day out. With basketball being such a long season,
Yep, I know exactly where you're
everybody
going with that. Yep.
everybody has their moments where they, I'm not going to say take games off, but for the sake of how I'm saying it, take games off,
Yeah.
and it costs them the games they should win.
You're exactly right, Rodney. And because you got 17 games are played in the NFL, and with Brandon's little division over there of the NFC East, you know the Cowboys get 2 shots at the Eagles, and so forth. The Giants and the Commanders. Everybody else just gets 1 shot at them until the playoffs come around. So yeah, basketball. That you nailed it, Rodney. I knew you were going with that when you said it. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Brandon, what do you want to talk about, man? You're kind of quiet today, sir.
I
Oh, I
know.
was looking at the.
I
I
do
was
have
looking at
one question for.
what I was looking at the slate for the
I
NBA
do
today.
have one question.
Give
Go
me 1
ahead.
second, guys.
While he's doing that, I got a question for both of y'all.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right. You know what? With the NIL and all revenue sharing, do you think these schools should have to really report the payments, like make them public, like the players' salaries, whatever you want to call it?
Well,
I mean,
on a
you
lot
see
of
it
them, you
in
cut
the
on the
NFL and all. That's what I'm getting at. Should the colleges have the same rules?
as the NFL does.
Yeah,
No.
I don't see why not, especially if they're a state-funded school.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
South
but then you're
Carolina is
getting
a
in.
state-funded school.
But then you're
That's a
getting
that's,
into looking into my kids and stuff. See what I'm saying? If my son gets an NIL deal, like if the school wants to let it be known, we're paying Derek $6 million to come to school here. That's one thing. But if they start investigating my son because the
that's
school started paying my kid money, somebody's gonna lose their head and it ain't gonna be me.
well. Hang on a second. Hang on. My son, when he turns 15, he can go right up the road here to a grocery store and he can run shopping carts on weekends. And he will be a tax identified employee at the age of 15.
Yeah.
So if you have a kid at a university, the NIL deal that's pretty simple black and white contracts, right?
Yeah.
But if you got an 18-year-old kid at a university and the university decides, hey, if you come here, we're going to pay you $12,000 a year, right? He's already getting an NIL deal for ridiculous, but he's getting a free education, medical, food, room and board if he's on scholarship. You know what I mean? So he's getting paid. At that point, he is. If it's below the threat, well, it's still taxable.
Yeah.
So why can't they look at it?
Why should the public look at your taxes?
They're not investigating your son as far as what he's doing. They're just investigating what his numbers are. Like it'd be like a check stub. You know what I mean? He's getting paid. That's why I brought up the fact that my son at 15 can go push shopping carts at the grocery store out of the parking lot back into the building. He's going to get taxed on that. And if
It's
they
one
want to
thing to
see,
give. It's one thing to give my tax accountant or my tax accountant. I have a tax accountant. My CPA. It's one thing to give normal my information. It's a whole other thing to give the public my information. It's one thing
But
to have the government looking at me versus
Yeah,
the public looking at me.
I agree with what you're talking about, the Freedom of Information Act. I agree with that side of it. It's not my business what sellers is specifically getting paid. But if there is an entity that thinks there is some shady business going on and they want to see that, that's different. I agree that I don't need to know. Rodney, it's none of your business. I know you're a Clemson fan, but it's none of your business what one of the South Carolina players is making. Now, if somebody did a private investigation, like, legally through the channels, and they found that there was wrongdoing, well, then that's for the NCAA to address and take care
Right.
of that, and then report what happened. Not give names, but just report the discrepancies or the violations. Tennessee coach prior to Heupel, he lost his job because he was handing out bags of money. But now they're all getting bags of money in the open. Now I feel bad for that Tennessee coach for getting fired for it.
I agree.
Even though I'm not a
But
Tennessee fan, but that's the point.
I mean,
but
that's
at
why
the
Reggie Bush got his stuff
same
taken
time,
away.
here's how I'm gonna look at this.
Yeah,
You're
and they
right.
gave it back to him finally, but
Here's how I'm gonna look at this. You know what? NFL players, NBA players, and any pro sport, they put out their salaries when they sign a contract.
time out. Hang on. Just hold that a second, okay? 32 teams, X amount of players. That's pretty simple. We're talking how many universities? How many collegiate players? Good God, man. That had my head spinning for 10 years trying to
Yeah.
figure out one season.
Yeah.
I think
But
I think this guy that pulled this with this University of South Carolina, he has an ulterior motive there, and I think that's where they're pushing back, going, he's trying to muddy the waters in a sense. South Carolina is handling it with their legal department, as they should, by saying that's none of your business. It's none of your business. But the thing is, he tried to pull the Freedom of Information Act, which he should have went a different route. Okay, he's caused a stink, and there may not be anything there. There may not. But if the NCAA wants to open the hood and see what's under there, that's their right to do. And
Uh-oh.
but no, back to what I was saying. I agree with what you're saying, but ultimately,
nice.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
every time you start getting on a point and get to roll it, the computer says we don't like what you're saying.
It's weird because nothing else has been interrupted except my laptop. It's like, hey. But that's my point, Rodney. My point is, it sounds like there's an ulterior motive, a vendetta here with this guy against the University of South Carolina, and it could be that he may have went to South Carolina. We don't know everything about this guy. So in a sense, I'd like to know more about this guy who has started this whole stink, because he may end up being a University of Clemson grad, and he's just out for spite. You don't know.
you don't know. But I think salary, how the money is coming in to these players,
Yeah.
should be disclosed. Not necessarily salary.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know what? Revenue sharing, you got $20.5 million for all institutions. How much of it is being used on basketball players? How much is this? And then have, not names, but have your top salaries listed by program.
As many times as the NCAA has been brought up for some of the things they do and they allow, some of the things they don't allow, I'm going to wait for Brandon. You still here, Brandon?
Is Marlon Brando here?
He's back. You back?
Yeah,
Can you hear me,
that's
Brandon?
crazy. I all of a sudden lost internet.
Yeah, it's yeah. So Rodney, you're next. I'll hurry up and land my plane here, as a lot of people like to say. I hate that saying. But anyways, what I'm saying is, you don't think the NCAA doesn't know how they're using that money, because they like to get in people's drawers. They like to do panty raids, and I think the NCAA is going to step in on this with their legal department and say this guy needs to go away. And I think a judge will agree. And then the NCAA may just say, hey, South Carolina, for the benefit of everybody between us, not me and you, none of us fans, or, enemies of South Carolina. It's none of our business until the NCAA says, oh, South Carolina, but you're in violation. Maybe that's what maybe that's what this guy really wants to happen, is the NCAA do a panty raid on South Carolina and find some dirty drawers. Okay.
I can agree with that.
So, yeah, no, it's an interesting article, but as I kept reading it, I'm sitting there going, I want to know more about this guy, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and sometimes you don't want the grease. He may have bitten off more than he wants to chew, especially with legal departments, because he may not have enough money, one, to take on the legal department of South Carolina. And then you got the NCAA. If they get involved, they've got a whole legal department. This guy's going to be like, well, I should open my mouth, Doesn't always work out for you.
I mean, you could, the NCAA could probably go through every college,
Yeah.
and find a white collar crime.
Oh, absolutely. Look, back in the day, I used to always say, if you weren't cheating, you weren't winning.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what university I was talking about. I even knew Florida State had some dirt down there, as a fan. Come on, you would hear stuff all the time on these forums. There were students that were posting stuff back when the internet was still early. They were kind of like, you ain't gonna believe this, but the players get this. And I'm sitting there going, man, I hope that's not true, because I don't want to see them hit with penalties.
I don't know many college kids that make $240,000 a year coming out of high school.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I would have played. I should have trained hard. I'm sitting there going, I should have hit the weight room more. I should have switched high school as much sooner than I did. But
held myself back in 6th grade.
I think it's going to work itself out,
Rodney.
Yeah. No, Rodney. It's a great article you sent us, because I was kind of like, ooh, that's ugly. I mean, that could get nasty. It could, but I think the NCAA is going to get involved, and I think they'll probably have somebody go over there and say, show me what's under the hood, and they're like, all right, just an engine. Okay, you're good, and they'll make this guy go away.
Clemson's still going to lose, Bird.
I don't know about that. They're both pretty bad. But my Seminoles are worse. So, Bird, you got a silver lining there. I always look for the silver lining, Bird.
I tried to look for the silver lining, but this year all I see is the brown lining.
You see the skid marks. I know you do. I know. Look,
Bird, we all see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get South Carolina in trouble so that your Clemson can make it through one game. we all see what you're trying to do.
The starting O and the starting D is suspended, or like they have to miss one half of the game. Look, again, I don't like the NCAA and a lot of stuff, because I think they're like a government entity of college, and they overreach a lot. I think they're too involved in some of these universities that are trying to just run a program, and they come in and, it's kind of like when there's a disaster somewhere in the United States. Honestly, that is the worst time for the president of the United States, any president, doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with, that should go to that area. They can manage from afar. And, and if the governor of that state says, hey, I've declared an emergency, I need this, that's for those departments in our government to facilitate what those people need in that situation. Because when the president decides to go fly in there, whether it's on the helicopter or Air Force One, or Marine One, they have to have all kind of motorcades and personnel, and it kind of shuts everything down. So like when people are in need, that's the worst time for anybody to go there that's not directly involved in some sort of relief. You know what I mean?
I know
And
exactly what you mean.
so,
I see.
like you look, the people in the Carolinas and part of Tennessee and those areas that were affected by the hurricane, which is crazy. I've never seen a hurricane do that over land in my lifetime. But you know, those people needed help, and they didn't. But then they shut everything down because somebody was coming to visit. That's just all. It doesn't matter. It was a Democrat or Republican president. I'm just kind of going. Wait, let them get help and let them get stuff situated and cleaned up, and then if you want to go take a look, go take a look, but don't stop progress of rebuilding people's lives. They lost everything, and that's kind of the same thing with this lawsuit that this guy brought. It's almost like he's trying to create a diversion that's going to bring a cloud over South Carolina that could really impact the rest of their season. Because if they
I
got
can agree with that, but also I see another side to it. I think he wants public record of how the revenue is trying to be.
so so he should have went to the NCAA and requested that. Okay, and that's my point. He kind of
Oh, I
went.
agree, but I'm saying from a playing devil's advocate.
No,
That's
that's my title today, Rod. That's my title. If you look over
no.
there, it says devil's advocate. Okay,
Wait, we've been in this an hour, and I'm just noticing because you're normally judge, jury, and
but
executioner.
today I'm devil's advocate because it's Friday. I'm taking it easy here. So he should have went to the NCAA. You just go straight to the source. That's the managing body over collegiate sports, and that's who they are. Instead, he wanted to go. He wanted to go create a stink bomb at the University of South Carolina, and that's what they got right now because their legal department's involved, and they're probably calling the NCAA saying, "Hey, you need to take care of this guy. We'll go to court and we'll handle it. We'll tell the judge, hey, we'll do an investigation and make sure it's on the up and up." But they're not going to sit there and start releasing stuff that if it's not legally, you know, if it's not within the realm, then don't release it. You know,
I agree. Y'all want to move on and talk some
yeah,
games, get the picks in for this week?
yeah,
We
we got
gotta
to
get
do
our we
another
gotta get our
college.
NFL picks in.
Yeah, we got to do the NFL. We've got our college picks in.
Yeah, Pee Wee football 7 days a week. Here we go.
No one Kiwi football, technically. That was
NIL
honestly
is
something.
100% Pee Wee football. What do you mean?
No, what
Well,
I mean by that is it was legal ramifications. That's what I was saying. It wasn't necessarily about the sport. It
No,
was
you're
about
just
how.
trying to get the word out there so everybody gets Carolina in trouble so
I
that Clemson
I
can get a hit.
absolutely liked this. I enjoyed discussing that because it was one of those like what is going on there,
No,
So,
it is it's interesting the things. So I did a paper, and I'm about to probably get myself in trouble here, but I did a paper over white collar crimes because I'm in school. I'm trying to be a GM in the NFL,
it's
and
awesome.
so I did a paper over um, Madoff. Well, actually, I did it over The Wolf of Wall Street first, but Bernie Madoff died in prison for the exact same crimes as The Wolf of Wall Street. The exact same crimes, only bigger scale. So
Yeah,
what you're saying is because this guy was a better salesman, you sentenced him to life because it was more money, but the precedent was set to do 4 years in the feds when you did that with the Wolf of Wall Street.
yep,
We're seeing that in the NFL. We're seeing that in the NBA. We just had a deal with the gambling stuff and Terry Rozier yesterday. Like, there is. I can't say they're victimless crimes at this point. You've got people literally taking their life because they invested into this and this didn't pan out the way that they wanted to. Well, instead of packing up and moving on and counting your losses, now you're taking your life and you're taking other people down with you, and it's really getting dirty if you look at it.
yeah.
And so I try not
Money,
to look
money,
at it.
Money corrupts. You know this.
Yeah.
Money will corrupt anybody. And but now there are some that the temptation was there and they didn't take it, and then others did. But it also goes back to what you were kind of getting at there. You're brushing on it. If if this guy got that, and this guy did the same thing, it doesn't matter the volume. Okay, same crime. They both should have been equal punishments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you brought up to me one day in a conversation we had, Brandon, that this guy did some just awful things to another human being as far as physical or mental, right? And he only served. Okay, I'm gonna wait on Brandon again. There goes Rodney.
I'm here.
All right. Okay, I didn't know what was going on there for a minute. But then you got somebody who was just selling some gardening products, right? And they're still sitting there behind bars.
Yeah.
But yet you got states that are legalizing this gardening materials, and you still got guys sitting in prison and women.
Hmm.
And that's all it was gardening. So, you got somebody else that ran a Ponzi scheme, and a lot of people lost everything. And
That they can never recover.
And you can't bring them back either if they did something to themselves. You know what
Right.
I mean?
That's the point I was making.
So the system is broke. I do believe that there needs to be criminal or justice reform in our system. They need to get it right, and that falls upon the lawmakers, both sides, that need to fix this. But
Can I
back to
ask a
sport.
question? Can I ask a question though? And this falls back into the sports. At what point does the buyer take responsibility? I ran into a salesman. I got sold. I messed up. Let's move forward. At what
You're
point?
right.
And I'm gonna put this back to Deshaun Watson. I made a mistake. I cost you a whole bunch of money. I can continue to cost you money, or you can let me go.
Yeah.
Why are the Cleveland Browns being held ransom when you can clearly buy him out? You can move
Because-
money. There are ways to go about business. But
Well,
at what
there
point
are
do we blame
ways-
the Cleveland Browns organization for saying, "Hey, I made a bad deal"?
While there are ways to do it without going into far left field where you got all these lawyers involved, like the Achilles tear, where he wore the boot and having to prove all this stuff. If you really sit down and do one thing, the Browns put themselves in ransom, not Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
because he fully was guaranteed that contract.
And it's
And
karma.
once you fully guaranteed that contract, if you cut him, you got 2 years of dead cap space that you have to pay, and that's going to be over $100 million. And that will come against your cap.
Bring it, Brandon.
So therefore,
Bring it. Bring it, Brandon.
Is
Don't
dead
get me
cap
wrong.
is
Yep.
dead cap worth the continuity in my locker room? Absolutely freaking not.
But is it
Get
worth
him
it for
out of my
other
locker
players?
room. He is a cancer. Get him out. Let's
Okay.
go.
You're right.
But is it worth not being able to sign other players?
No, the
That's what you
the
gotta
Cleveland
think.
Browns made a bad deal. You got to eat it. You just got to eat it. I messed
And you
up.
know
I
what?
made a mistake. It's on me. Let's go.
But here's the thing, Brandon. I've always karma is my sister. Okay, listen, karma's my sister. They sat there and told Baker Mayfield to his face, "You're our guy." The entire time they had Deshaun Watson on a tarmac in a jet saying, "You're our guy."
Mhm.
So I'm sitting here as the devil's advocate on this one, and I'm going to sit there and say, "You reap what you sow," and they are sowing it. And you know what? I want to see Deshaun Watson come back, and I want to see him play for that money. And I'm not a fan of Cleveland, but look, It is
But
what
you
it
see
is.
where I'm coming from,
I
Dio,
don't. I
right?
don't want to see Deshaun take another snap. The
I
fans
understand
booed
that, but
him when he got. They cheered when he got hurt.
that's terrible. I'm
That
gonna go
I
ahead and say
don't
it
want
right
to
there.
see him take another
I
snap.
don't ever want to see. I don't ever want to see somebody get hurt. That'd have been like people cheering when Joe Theismann went down. You
Yeah,
know,
Exactly.
I mean, come on. That was a career ender. You know,
it was classless.
Alex Smith should have never came back and played the way
Right.
his leg was. Oh my God. You know, but hats off to him, man. The guy came back and he played well.
Yeah.
You know, but he finally realized, and I think his wife was a big advocate telling him shut it down because you know they got kids to raise and stuff. But yeah, both of you have great points on this, but I'm going to just throw out karma there that Cleveland is getting everything they deserve for what they did, and I'm going to throw it on the Baker Mayfield. You sit there, and I don't care if it was Baker Mayfield or any other quarterback, you don't sit there and tell a professional athlete you're our guy and you're doing a dirty ass backroom deal in a jet with a guy who already has too much baggage to go on that plane. You know what I mean? And they brought it to Cleveland. So,
But the
in a way,
Cleveland Browns should have to eat that, not the locker room. And that's
I
where I'm
understand
at
that.
with it.
Yep. And I'll tell you this because we're about to get into the big boy football. There are 3 games tonight in Pee Wee. There's only one of them that really sticks out. It's an ACC matchup of Virginia Tech
Virginia Tech and
and
Cal.
Cal. North Texas, I think they're going to blow Charlotte off the field.
I agree.
California, Virginia Tech might be a good game because you know they fired their coach. I want to see what they do. You know, with Cal. For Cal's 5-2, which is very surprising. You know, so that could be an interesting game. But the Boise State Nevada game, you got Boise State 5-2 against Nevada 1-6. That's not a game. Okay,
No, it's not.
but Brandon, NFL baby, let's go because there's some news I want to talk about once we go over our picks.
Oh Lord,
There's some news you want to talk about. You want to get
Oh,
the news
yeah.
out first?
Sure. So, you know, I don't know if y'all caught the Justin Jefferson interview after the game last night, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you read between the lines of his interview, that man wants out of Minnesota yesterday. And
We
you
said that
might
on the
start.
podcast.
I understand that, but when you watch his interview, read between the lines on it. He wants out of Minnesota. And, you know, we did talk about it on the podcast. At what point does he start saying, trade me? And I think it's going to happen sooner than later. It doesn't matter if JJ comes back or not. I think Justin Jefferson's ready to get out of Minnesota because that team is not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere this year. And Justin Jefferson is out there risking, like any game, it doesn't matter who he plays for, an injury, but at least he's out there competing with a team that has an opportunity to possibly go somewhere. And because he wants a ring. And he's not going to get it in
He
Minnesota.
he deserves a ring.
But he is not going to get it anywhere in Minnesota. He's not. That's not happening.
Can we say this? Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are built the same. They want the ring. They deserve the ring by putting all of it on the line every Sunday.
Yeah. And they're not going to get it with their respective teams right now. They're
Are
not
you about
going
to cry,
to.
Bird?
What?
Are you about to get emotional over JJ?
No,
You sure?
I'm sure.
You look like you're holding back tears, dog.
No, I'm not. All right.
I'll text
You good?
Lisa and tell her issues, but
Bring some tissues? Oh my goodness, boy.
I'm
You
good.
all right?
I promise
You
y'all.
okay?
you're about to see some elite wide receivers in this league probably start pulling, and I'm not putting them anywhere. I'm not putting Antonio Brown at the skill level of them by any means, but you might see a little bit of that coming out soon to where they're like, trade me yesterday. And I think they'd be willing to go to a team for a pay cut at this point because they want, you know, a ring.
All right. Before we get into this.
So I got 2 questions.
Go ahead, Brandon.
One, who's going to ask out first, JJ or AJ Brown?
I think
I'm gonna throw.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna throw a curveball at you. I'm not gonna say either. You know who I'm gonna say? Jamar Chase.
You've lost your mind.
No,
I don't think so.
no. Hear me out. Hear me out.
No, because he's
Yes,
already said he wants
Joe
to stay with
Burrow
Joe Burrow
is
his whole
his
career.
guy. Joe Burrow is his guy, right?
Exactly.
But ultimately, with the line and everything that Joe Burrow's going to get to a point that he's going to say, "Get me out of here," because I can't win with this team. If he goes, Jamar Chase is going to go.
All right, Brandon, your rebuttal, because I'm gonna say something here in a minute.
My rebuttal to Rod?
Yeah.
Because that's ridiculous. Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. Jamar Chase isn't going anywhere. They will get rid of every coach, every GM, everything before they get rid of those two. You're not going to let those two go. You're not going to let those two walk. And Cincinnati is a horrible, horrible place to play. But the GM, that's a terrible organization, but they're not going to go anywhere. I promise you, they're not going to lose.
It seems like Ohio's a bad place to play right now. But here's the thing, Rod, about Cincinnati. You got an old man back there playing quarterback, putting up 3 touchdowns on a Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Who's not Joe Burrow, by the way.
Exactly. But you got Joe Flacco standing back there. He gets rid of the ball because he knows that line is garbage. Hey, the thing about Burrow is he's a baller. He's younger. So he's putting his body in more risk than he should. And that's probably what he's going to learn from Joe Flacco. He's probably going to learn just to get rid of the damn ball. And if the coaches say anything about it, he's like, well, give me some linemen to block because I'm not throwing an interception. I'm not taking dings, So I'm going to watch these next few weeks of Joe Flacco back there quarterback because that's really their only saving grace they have because that backup Browning is garbage. So Joe Burrow gives them not Joe Burrow, but Joe Flacco gives them the best case to win right now. And damn, they're in second place. And if the Steelers lose to the Packers this weekend, the Bengals are about to be in first place in the AFC North. So Jamar Chase isn't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere because.
But at what point does Joe Burrow sit here and say, I'm tired?
But it's not this year, Rod. It's not this year because he's only coming back maybe with 2 weeks left in the season, if at all. So if the Bengals are in a playoff position, which they could easily win the North, okay, they're right there. Minnesota's not going anywhere in the NFC North.
No.
There is no way in hell. The way the Lions are playing and the Packers they're kind of mid right now, and you got the damn Bears at 4-2. Okay? Minnesota is going backwards. Those 3 teams are going forward. So if I was Justin Jefferson, I'm gonna start squealing. Let me out. I gotta go.
So you think JJ before AJ?
Why would a wide receiver want to leave a Super Bowl champion team from last year? That's just my bottom line on it. You know what I mean? There's still potential there. They still have opportunity to fix their issues. The other day in that game, he caught some beautiful passes. I mean, when it mattered, he got his balls the other day, and so did help me out here. Devontae Smith. They both had some deep ball passes, from Hurts. So I mean, look, as long as they're winning, AJ Brown is going to stick around.
That's the key. As long as they're winning.
Yes, but they have a better opportunity to win. They have a better path to win, though, as an Eagles team, okay, than Minnesota. Minnesota, they got trucked last night by a mid Chargers team. It was a blowout, and I said yesterday, 10 points or more was going to be the difference in that game, and it ended up being 37 to. Help me out here.
37 to like 10.
Yeah, or maybe 13. I think it was 37-13.
Yeah, something like that.
Come on, wow.
probably one of the worst games we had all season at night.
I don't know, man. The Jets and the Dolphins, whenever they've been on TV, are pretty bad. But
So if you
I
look
think
at the East,
you go ahead.
if you look at the East, Philly's 5-2, Dallas is 3-3. We're only a game and a half behind.
I know.
If the Eagles beat if the Giants sweep the Eagles this week, I promise you AJ Brown ain't gonna want to be there because they're not. There's no way they're gonna win the East.
That's a possibility, but I still think the kettle is about to steam in Minnesota because if you compare. All right, so which team's better in your
I'm
opinion?
with you on JJ leaving first.
But which team's better? Are the Vikings or the Eagles better?
The Eagles are better.
Okay. Not even looking at record. Which team would you rather pick? No record.
I'll give you that.
I would go with yeah. So I think JJ would be the first out of who we're talking about. Jamar Chase is not. That shouldn't even be in the conversation. But between AJ and JJ, I think JJ is going to start chomping. Like, I got to go. Y'all are holding me back. Whatever we got to do to get this contract done. Whichever team's got the ability, if they want to win now, they will get JJ on their team. But AJ would be I put Justin Jefferson at a 90%, going to start wanting out of Minnesota, and I put AJ Brown at a 60%.
Let me ask you this: if you're JJ, where do you go?
But if the Eagles start losing, then I could see AJ Brown percentage start skyrocketing up. Where would JJ go?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man!
Where do you go if you're JJ?
I mean, San Francisco, but I don't think they're going to want to trade him to a NFC team. So I
know you say that one team came to mind, the Saints. I mean, and
why would you hold on? Why would you go from Minnesota that's garbage right now to even look? It's one thing to play on a dumpster fire right now, but then you're going to tell me they're going to trade him to the landfill? Because that's what the Saints are right now, is a landfill. Oh, my God, Rod.
Here's why. You got Chris Olave. They got Kellen Moore.
Now, Rod.
They got Kellen Moore. They got some.
Listen, why would I go from Carson Wentz to Spencer Rattler? Please explain that.
Rod, it's not even noon, and I never drink before noon. So don't make me go now. I will log off, and I will go to the liquor store. Don't do it. Come on now. I know you're looking at long term. You're looking at long term. JJ wants to win now. He doesn't want to go to a team that's rebuilding. He doesn't.
No, but if the Saints are only a quarterback away, I'm saying okay?
They're not.
Just hear me out. If the Saints are just a quarterback away with Kellen Moore as a head coach, wouldn't it make the most sense? That's all I'm asking.
If they were a quarterback away, but they're not a quarterback away.
No, they're not. I mean, Kamara's not doing anything down there.
You're a running back away. You're a defense away.
I was going on some of the talent they had. That's what I was saying. Short term, long term, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave.
Brandon, I thought I was the comic relief on this show. I thought I was the comic. Rod's trying to take my throne. Hey, Rod, we just talked about JJ wants to win now. And we're talking about what team would be a good fit for him in a win now situation.
I'm not going to go from a 3-4 team to a 1-6 team. That's not happening. That's crazy talk.
I want to know what's in that Pepsi bottle. What's in the Pepsi bottle, Rod? What's in the Pepsi bottle?
I can't reveal my sources.
Your son's going to love me for this, Dio. I think you make a move. Godwin for JJ.
Oh, I would love to see Godwin get put on the Vikings right now because karma, baby, because that would be a perfect fit for him right now. Because
that's not where I think he goes, but
holy crap, though, man! Could you imagine the Bucs getting JJ right now? because Evans is out. He's done.
Yeah.
Godwin can't stay healthy. You got some other receivers coming back, but they are not anywhere near JJ.
Abuka,
Talent.
Shepard, Tez McMillan.
All right. I've got a serious one here. That was a comedy one. What about the Carolina Panthers?
I'm going to shut my laptop. I'm going to shut my laptop screen in about 10 seconds, Rod. Brandon?
No.
Being real, if I'm JJ, I'm trying to go to the Chiefs. But the only problem is I don't know who you get rid of. You get rid of Xavier Worthy? Do you get rid of Rashee Rice?
No. You get rid of Jake's favorite one. Juju.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
You get that bad Juju off your team. You get that JJ off your team, and you bring in the other one. I think you're going to. The thing is, Minnesota is not going to want to trade.
Minnesota wouldn't do that though.
They're not going to want to trade him to an NFC team. So the Bucs, I think, would be out. The 49ers would be out. Can you imagine can you imagine Puka Nacua and JJ and Devontae Adams on the same team? Holy shit. I could go play quarterback for the Rams. I mean, come on.
Rodney could go play quarterback for the Rams. Rodney, can you throw? You got 5 yards, right?
Why did I bring up JJ, man? Look what this is turning into. Rod, get your wheelbarrow shit and get out
of here.
All right,
no, seriously. This is the move I have for JJ. Really. I think you go to the Bucs. I think you either trade Godwin for JJ and a first-round pick, whatever, or I think you go to Pittsburgh and you compete in the division against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. If you don't team up.
I love that even more, and I didn't even want to throw my Steelers into that conversation, but I like that too. But we could talk about this tonight on streams, but we got some picks.
All seriousness, I'm going to throw one more. The New York Giants, and here's why: you got Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo. Okay, you got Malik Neighbors. Add him opposite Malik Neighbors. What would you have?
JJ to New York. I don't mind.
That'd be next year, though. That'd be next year.
Yeah, it would be this year.
No, but I know. But I'm saying, with the talent level that they're trying to get to, what would you have with that?
I mean that could be a good conversation that could go on for a minute, but.
Go to New England, hang out with Diggs.
We can do the what ifs all day on this JJ stuff, but I just threw it out there because I watched his interview this morning, and I was listening between his lines where I'm sitting there going, he's going to start chirping, because I don't blame him, because the Vikings are probably they have the possibility of ending dead last in the NFC North.
Probably getting a top 3 overall pick, you think?
Yeah, but JJ's not going to stick around because he probably doesn't have confidence in JJ McCarthy either.
They've already asked him to stick around. He's already gotten his extension. He's outside his rookie contract. He's working on his 3rd contract.
But I just think that look, we brought this up, and I brought this up, but I think JJ is going to start chirping and get off that team. And he has every right to do so because he is a talent just wasting away. The Vikings, look, they had a good run last year, but they are not the same team. They don't have the same personnel on that sideline. They're not going anywhere.
Last Vikings note here. Was Sam Darnold really that good, or was it just the coach? Is it the coaching?
Both.
That
it was both.
Look what he's doing. You can't see what he's doing in Seattle and say that he's a bad quarterback. I'm not
saying that. Without Sam Darnold, okay, in Minnesota, is Mike McDaniel? No, not Mike McDaniel. What the?
Evan O'Connell.
Evan O'Connell.
Yeah.
The long-term answer at Minnesota.
Look.
That's all I'm trying to make the point of.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
No, it's okay. No. Listen, and it's a quagmire that I've thrown into the mix here today, and we still got to get these picks done. You know,
We'll bring this back Monday.
that's fine.
Let's get into the picks.
Sure.
Y'all want to do that?
Yeah.
All right. Jets Bengals. CBS.
I think
I
Flacco.
took,
I think Flacco gets the job done against the Jets.
Yeah, I took the
I
Jets
took
one
the
week.
Bengals in that one.
I took the Jets 1 week to get out of the offer. You burnt me. I'm hoping you go for 17 at this point. Bengals for sure. Joe Flacco gets it done. Jamar Chase goes for $110 and a touchdown. Bears at Ravens.
Which don't. Well, I took the Bears.
Lamar, I believe Lamar is going to play, if I'm not mistaken. Let me. They were talking about it this morning. I think Lamar might be coming back. Well, right now he's a game time decision. He's questionable. If Lamar does not play, absolutely give me the Bears. But if Lamar does play, that's a toss up, man. That's just a toss up game to me right now.
Either way, I got the Bears because if Lamar plays, how healthy is Lamar?
That's yeah. But what I'm saying, it's a toss up for me because the team might be playing up to protect Lamar and give him an opportunity to win that game if he plays. Now, if Cooper Rush comes in, I just, yeah, the Bears. But
I wonder how Cooper Rush worked for us and nobody else knows how to use him.
well, right, but he worked better in your system, and that was when Kellen Moore was there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a big difference right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing the best he can with Rattler down there, but ugh, good God.
I mean, they're more actually, dude. He's got Rattler playing at a decent level. I think what you said he was in the top 15.
Yeah, he is, but I mean, yeah, I know. Well, I think Aaron Rodgers, or no, somebody was at 15. You asked me last night, but
Aaron Rodgers was at 20, 19.
Yeah, I think Rattler was further back than that. I don't think he was ahead of.
Yeah, Rattler up there. Rattler was up higher, a lot higher than what I had anticipated.
Man, you're making.
In fact, you had Matthew Stafford a lot lower than I had anticipated.
Okay, hang on. I got it right here. Hang on.
Then it was per Football Focus, right?
Do what?
That was per.
It's the
football.
QBR rating.
Oh, it was just QBR?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Rattler's at 16.
16.
Aaron Rodgers was at 19. Yeah, Rattler's got a better QBR on the season. But that goes back to Kellen Moore. I absolutely think a lot of that is Kellen Moore calling the right plays. I think he's running plays that he's comfortable with Spencer Rattler playing. I think if Kellen Moore opened up his offensive playbook more like he had at Dallas, I don't think Rattler could get the job done. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think
a lot of one-man reads.
Yep.
Get you guys open in the flats. Yeah, I got you.
So
I'm going to take the Ravens at home at the bank.
Okay.
I think Caleb Williams, they're rolling. I think they're doing a great job up there. But you're playing at the bank at noon. Something just tells me the Ravens.
I think Flacco has another good game. I think Flacco has another good game, but
Flacco.
All right, what one's next, Brain?
Yeah, I'm just still thinking about the Flacco. Give me the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. I took the Falcons, I think. Yeah.
At what point do they fire McDaniel?
This week. I think he's going to be 1-7. Bijan is going to run the daylights out of that ball.
Yep. Is that game in Atlanta?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in Atlanta.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Dolphins. Tua or no Tua. It's not happening. It doesn't matter. I think the Falcons at home. Yeah. Bijan's gonna have a good day, especially against that defense.
Bills at Panthers.
I took the Panthers for the upset.
No, I'm not going against. After what happened to the Bills, they're coming off a bye week, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yep, 2 losses in a row, then a bye week.
Yeah. No. Give me the Bills.
I want Carolina to win this game. I think Carolina can win this game. I think that it be it at home. I think that the Bills are not as good as we think. However, I don't think the Panthers
I'm
are
going to
as good
agree
as
with you on that. I'm going to agree with you on that, but I think the Bills are going to go down to Carolina. Is it in Carolina?
It's in
Yeah.
Carolina.
I think the Bills are going to pull that one out.
I too am choosing the Bills, but I'm rooting for Carolina in this game, and I do think they have the moxie and can pull it out. I think the Bills are moving backwards. I said that at the beginning of the year. I think that they've got a lot more problems than they think, but I think the Bills can pull it out. 2 losses in a row plus a bye week. They are ready for y'all. Niners at Texans.
Niners, no brainer.
Bang bang Niner game. Giants at Eagles at a noon game at the bank.
I said the Giants.
I don't think the Giants can do it twice. I had everybody in the division split in one. I think the Eagles get this one at home. I think the Giants got lucky last time. But if Jackson Dart can continue to hit his guys, that Eagles secondary is not good. So we expect Wendell Robinson to have a big day.
Rodney, who'd you take?
I took the Giants.
I'm going with the Eagles. They're
Why?
going to
Because I picked the Giants.
No. I just wanted to see where it was going to be, but I was already going to pick the Eagles, but I was just curious who you took because I don't know what's going on with podcasts all day. But anyways, I think Saquon Barkley is going to have. I think he's going to have a good day, and I think Hurts is going to be the difference maker in that game. I think AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith are going to have a tea party. So give me the Eagles.
Yeah, they're going to come out mad.
I don't see the Giants sweeping them, especially playing in Philly this time. I think it's going to be a different ball game.
Browns and
All right.
Patriots.
Y'all ready for this? Upset special for the week. I took the Browns over the Patriots. And they got Quishon Judkins, and you know what? Honestly, they got a good defense. They're winning some games that they probably shouldn't win. I think this is one of them.
They're winning some games. How many games have they won, Bird?
They've won 2, but the point is, compared to the normal Cleveland Browns, they have been playing better lately. That's what I mean by that.
The normal Cleveland Browns. Do you know what the Cleveland Browns did last year, Bird? Do you know what the Cleveland Browns did the year before that, Bird? It's been a few years since we've seen an 0-17 Cleveland Browns.
So here's the thing. Dolphins were not prepared for Judkins last week. They did not anticipate him being the primary back as it turned out to be, and he ran all over them. If you think that the New England Patriots have not watched that game between the Browns and the Dolphins last week, you're going to tell me that Justin Jefferson's going to New Orleans again. There's no way that Dylan Gabriel is going to be able to perform when they start shutting down Judkins, because they're going to be waiting on him. They're going to put that game on Dylan Gabriel, and that is not going to work out well for Cleveland. He's still learning. He's still a rookie. I got the Patriots handling that game with no issues.
You traded off one of your better defenders. You got a young rookie quarterback. Mike Rabel has Drake May in the New England Patriots rolling. What I really need to happen is I need the Bills to lose, and I need the Patriots to win this game. That's what I need to happen.
I'm on the island by myself on.
You are the island, Rod. You are the island.
You're going to sit here and say some crazy takes. Yeah, you're going to be on an island.
And there are turds washing up on your shores. Okay? So
I'm Justin Jefferson. I want to get away from this bad team. So I want to go from a bad team to a 1-6 team. That makes sense.
Justin Jefferson look like he just got hit like Tua, and he's got a concussion. He's saying Saints.
No, I mean
the head's weighing you down, man.
Rodney, put the shovel down, sir. Put the shovel down.
I think that's rising.
Put the shovel down.
Bucks and Saints.
It's rising.
Bucks and Saints.
I took the Bucks.
Is that even a game?
It can be. Is it? Where's the game at?
It's
in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
That game's gonna be closer than what people think, but I think the Bucks pull it out. It's gonna be one of those ugly games, but I think Mayfield recovers this week, and I think they're gonna have a better game plan. I think they went into that game the other night. They just didn't look prepared. They did not look, crisp. They were always they were a mess. Like every drive was a mess.
I'm pretty sure the game plan was Mike Evans. And when you go down with a broken clavicle, that kind of messes up everything you was going to call.
Cade Otton, though, you
got to catch the passes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got issues. But it's going to be a closer game. It's going to be a close game. But I think the Bucks pull it out.
Bucks roll. Let's go. Titans at Colts. This one's going to be interesting.
Colt.
I think my Florida State Seminoles have a better chance in that game than the Titans do.
I think my Clemson Tigers do too.
Jesus Christ. Give me the Colts, man. Danny Dimes all over the place.
Sweep.
I'll make a bold prediction here. I think Texas and Arch Manning could do better in that game.
I mean, Jake.
Hey, why don't you worry about your Clemson Tigers down there? Trying to get South Carolina in trouble so Clemson can get a win.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Jake, Danny Dimes is going to go all over Tennessee. So,
Indiana Jones, let's go.
Going to win the Super Bowl MVP this year.
Yep.
Jake.
No.
Yep.
Danny Dimes is going to win the Super Bowl MVP this year, Jake. How would you feel?
Indiana Jones is going to do the same thing that Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen do every year, and that's fold in the AFC Championship to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm just putting out there for Jake if he's listening.
This is a different Colts team than they've had in years there. It is a different team.
You got a young head coach. Stop it.
It's almost like this Colts team reminds me a lot of when Peyton Manning was playing there, when he had those receivers, and their running back he's having a hell of a season.
Nice.
It's dude, they're the Colts are. That's what I was going to say a minute ago about Tampa. They didn't look crisp at all in that game. They had opportunities, and the Lions, based on turnovers, the Lions should have just blown them out. It was closer than it should have been. But
yeah, it was way closer than it should have been.
I think the Colts have an opportunity. They have an opportunity. Honestly, they're playing with house money, as I always like to say, because nobody expected the Colts to do what they're doing this year, and I really think that they're going to have, I think they're even be better next year. So,
I agree. All right, this is my game. Cowboys at Broncos.
Are you ready?
No, we already know you're going for the Broncos because you're not allowed to root for the Cowboys no more.
Rod, hurry up!
Hey, wait.
Rod, hurry up!
I took the Cowboys.
Laptop's about to close, Rod. The laptop's about to close. Hurry up. I can't see your
your
phone right
phone?
now, buddy.
Why don't you just tell us who
It's
it
the
is?
filter. The filter blocks it out. The filter blocks
The
it out.
Cowboys.
Game in Dallas?
No, it's in
The
Denver.
game's in Denver.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I am. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys.
Wow, we're all three gonna sweep this, and I thought y'all were both taking Denver, who's 5-2. That's
No,
crazy.
no. I think the Cowboys are going to go in there and play a better game and a complete game than what New York did. I just don't see them. I think Dak has a good game. Pickens and CD, I think are going to have they're going to have a decent day. I really do.
Here's the other thing you gotta look at about this game. The Broncos came back from 33 down and won that game. Scored 33 points to win that game.
Because Brian
Did that
Daboll let
be
him
a
back
lot?
in. Stop it.
No, hold on. They came back. I'm not saying they let them back in or not. That's not for debate.
Wait,
They came back and won the game.
wait. I'm waiting. Come on, Rod, bring it.
But honestly, the fact is, mentally, is that going to be too much of a high for them to the next week? I mean, because they came back off that emotional win.
Sean,
33
look,
points.
Sean Payton. He doesn't come into games unprepared. He doesn't. I think he's still a great coach, but Bo Nix is playing a lot like Drew Brees did for Sean Payton, but the way Dallas is starting to get things rolling, I think this is a game they'll get and they'll be above 500. They'll actually be on the positive, which they need this game. They do. They don't need to drop this one, but I think Dak and them, even though they're going to be playing in Denver, I think they get it done. I do.
All right, so their two losses are to the Colts by 1 and to the Chargers by 3. But we've been dropping the games we shouldn't drop, like Carolina, like Chicago.
Yeah, but the Broncos should have lost to the Giants. We all agree on that. But
yeah, and I think because it's a game that we shouldn't, it's a game that we should drop. I think that it's a game that we're going to win, and I know that sounds crazy, but if you take what we did last week against the Commanders, Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue are a good one-headed 1-2 monster. I know they wanted Miles Sanders, but honestly, he's got a case of the drops anyway. He's already had a couple fumbles this year before he got hurt. So Jaden Blue has done a great job learning how to read blocks and getting through the line. He's going to be just fine. Javonte Williams is going to have a big day against his former Broncos team. I just feel that. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are back together, so the offense is going to click like we knew it was. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Overshown comes back this week.
That's what I was about to ask you. Is he still questionable, or is he actually going to play this weekend?
No, he's still questionable, but all signs are pointing to he's going to play, but that it's going to be a game time decision.
But do you think they're bringing him back too soon?
I don't know. Honestly, he was supposed to have been back week 1, and they kind of pushed him back. So I'm kind of hoping they don't bring him back too soon. I'm hoping they bring him back when he's ready. It's been 8 weeks.
Yeah. I still think Dallas. I think they're going to come into this game, and I think they're going to play a well-rounded, game against the Broncos because, they got some good film last week. A lot of the mistakes the Giants made, and what the Broncos, they got to see a lot of their 2-minute drill, in that fourth quarter. So I think that Dallas is going to be prepared for this. I think they're going to be ready.
I think Diggs is out again. I think he's still in concussion protocol. He might be back. He might be back. But I think we're getting healthy at the right time. We're getting healthy at a time that we can make a run, and so uh, I don't think Denver's defense is that good. I don't think Denver. I think Pat Surtain is great. I think their secondary is wonderful. Uh, Up front is not as there's more to be desired for the Denver Broncos on that defense, and the offense. Other than Cortland Sutton, what are we doing? Bo Nix is nice. J.K. Dobbins, I liked him when he was with the Ravens. I think you need to utilize him differently and better. Get him in the passing game, get him in the running game. Um, there's things Denver could do better, and I'm with you. I think we've seen enough of Denver to be able to beat them at home this week, at their home this
Yeah.
week. Now the game I'm most excited about, and I can't wait to talk about this one. Two teams in the North, one in the AFC, one in the NFC, battle head to head. Aaron Rodgers gets his revenge.
Not so fast. I got Green Bay in this game.
I know you do. You got a
I
cheesehead.
think they got better.
I'm not listening to the revenge part because Aaron Rodgers can say whatever he wants to say that it's not a revenge game, but it is. He's already said he wants to retire a Packer, so he's got to he's right now he's just noise, on the social platform. Um, the Green Bay Packers offense is kind of stagnant right now. Um, they've had some close games that they should have lost, but they pulled it out. Our defense is not very good, but I think with a combination of Green Bay struggling on the offense, I think our defense can maybe hold enough for Aaron and our offense to put the points up. And I think it's just going to be who has the most points at the end of the game type of game. We shouldn't have dropped that Cleveland game 2 weeks ago on that Thursday night or a week and a half ago. I think the Steelers are going to go in there with a good opportunity to pull a win out of there, especially for Aaron. They're going to be playing for Aaron. They're going to want to make sure he gets a win against his old team. So, you mean the Steelers? And that was me strictly looking at it from a neutral perspective, because I think our defense is garbage. But I think we have an opportunity the way that Jordan Love and his receivers are not connecting right now. So, they struggled against Arizona. They had to come back
Your
and win
age
that
is
game.
showing
And
that you guys
Arizona
are
is
4 and
not
2.
what I thought.
Yeah, I'm
Pardon?
with you. Your age is showing. I'm with you. Your age is showing, but you guys are 4 and 2. You guys are finding ways to pull out these one-score games. You guys are finding ways to win, and a lot of that is Mike Tomlin and the good coaching culture that he's put there. For me,
But I'll
Green
tell you
Bay
this: if you look, go ahead, Brandon.
Green Bay's receivers are young. They've got a great, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, but they're a great group of young guys. I think with the veteran talent that you guys have over there on that defensive side, I think you're going to be able to do a lot of things to the Green Bay
Yeah.
offense that a lot of teams aren't going to be able to do.
Well, I think they're going to keep Diaperhead under wrap. They're going to keep Dobbs. They're going to be keeping an eye on Dobbs, which they're going. Love is going to probably be keying off his tight end like he likes to do with Kraft. So they're going to have to assign somebody to keep on Kraft the whole game, because that's where Love likes to go when his receiver.
And you got what's his name, Musgrave over there?
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave.
So Kraft had some good catches last week in that comeback win against the Cardinals. But what I was going to point out, though, what's crazy is the Steelers actually have a plus 10 in point differential for the season. So even though our defense is, I think, old and slow, our offense has actually outscored the opponents more than our defense has given up by 10 points. So that's the silver lining I see. You know what I mean? I always tell you I look for the silver lining in something, and that's what I noticed recently when I was looking at stats. I was like, well, shit, we still have a positive, in these games we played. It's like runs for and runs against in baseball. You know, that's kind of how you can tell where your pitching has issues if you're in the negatives. That, but I think the Steelers go in there and they get that win. I do.
I wish this game was in Lambeau.
All right.
I wish this game was in Lambeau.
That would have been that would have been more Aaron's if he had the choice. I think he'd have preferred it to be in Lambeau, but I don't know. I think the crowd's going to be into it. I think the terrible towel's going to be waving. I think it's going to be a loud game. So I'm excited for it. I am.
I think him being at home at Pittsburgh helps the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it helps the Steelers. But for Aaron Rodgers,
and they're wearing their 1933. They're wearing their 1933 uniforms too.
Oh no, I don't know if I like that. No, is that the one with the stripes?
Oh, you need to go on ESPN. No, it's not the Bumblebee jerseys.
Okay.
No, it's you get. They got the yellow helmets like they normally do, the tan pants, but you need to look at their jerseys. Their jerseys they're pretty nice. They're not the Bumblebee jersey with the square on the front with the number. No, you need to look at the jersey. Here, I'll pull it up. I don't know. Yeah, you should be able to see it because I don't have a filter. I don't have a filter. Yeah. Yeah. Those are sharp, man. They're wearing their throwbacks. So.
All right. Commanders versus Chiefs. Is this even close?
No. No.
It's got a 10-point spread.
Is this going to be the worst Monday night? Right?
Yeah, I would take the over on that 10 points. I would.
Is this going to be the worst Monday night game in history, you think?
No, it's not. But look, Quinn, I think Quinn's going to have them in the game for the most part, but they're not going to be able to sustain it just based on their offensive issues right now. That defense is going to be wore out by the end of the game. Mahomes is going to wear that defense out. Worthy's going to have a good game. Rice, I think, is going to have a good game. I think Kelsey will probably get a couple of touchdowns. I would probably say Kelsey probably ends up with 2 touchdowns just based on how Quinn's defense is run. That Mahomes is going to use Kelsey more than he has been in the past few weeks.
We were talking about,
but it's not going to be the worst Monday night game.
We were talking about.
Go ahead, finish your Steelers thought.
We were talking about the Steelers being long in the tooth, and if anybody's long in the tooth, it's showing their age. It's the Washington Commanders. Dallas Cowboys blew their doors off this past weekend, and I don't think it's going to get any better. JD5's out. Mariota's playing. Marshawn Lattimore, I understand why the Saints were quick to get off of him. So I've got the Chiefs winning, but the Commanders they're not. It's going to be bad for them.
Yeah, both my Super Bowl picks are just they're not even close. So
you had Ravens and
Commanders? Like I said, I had the Ravens Commanders in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and that's not happening. That both those teams are in big trouble with their injuries. Jaden Daniels, I think, is going down the path, like I've said this before, of the RG3 route. They've got to stop putting him in those situations. They need to give him an opportunity to be a pocket passer, that sort of thing. But it's not going to be the worst game in Monday Night Football, Rod. But it's going to be a big point spread.
That's what I mean. I'm not going to say worst game, but it's going to be one of the most.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as last night. I don't think it's going to be as bad as last night. I don't. Say something, Brandon.
I can hear you.
I can't hear y'all.
You're muted. You're muted. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can say something. I can.
No sound.
I can.
I can hear him.
Oh, we'll get the episode.
Can you hear me,
So y'all,
Brandon?
I can't hear anything y'all are saying. Hang on 1 second.
I don't know what was going on there.
Uh,
Technical issues.
yeah, I think a lot.
So,
I wonder if they're using any Amazon servers that were kind of in trouble the other day.
I don't know.
Last night's game was a blowout, and we're expecting the Chiefs to blow them out, but I don't think the point spread's going to be as much. I think it's going to be more of a 31-17 kind of game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Commanders are going to probably get score a late touchdown, but I think it's going to be a 31-17 Chiefs.
It could very well be.
I'll tell y'all what, technology doesn't like us today. We must have been getting into too much controversy today. So I'm gonna have to have my wife really listen to the episode and be like, "Hey, am I allowed to put this on?" Let's talk about her wearing the belt earlier.
What
Yeah.
did we do? What did we do today? We are innocent today, like every day.
Innocent
Or it
today,
might
like
have been
every-
Justin Jefferson to the Saints take a hating.
Bert, I got a word for you. Are you ready? I want you to look this word up. I want you to give me a definition, okay?
What?
Accountability.
Love it. Don't ask him to spell it. Hey, Rod, have Lisa look it up for you, okay?
ACCOUNTABILITY. Accountability.
Oh boy.
Good job. I'm actually surprised you knew how to spell that, Rod. All right, you guys have anything else we want to cover? I have covered all that I had in mind for this evening or this morning. Oh my goodness, Brandon, wake up!
Well, I do have one thing I want to say before we get out here. Monday will be our 50th episode, halfway to the 100. Way
job,
to go,
Rod.
guys.
This is
I
episode
know you're
49.
going to accountability me right now, so I figured I'd throw
Hey,
something
Rod,
out there.
you're not getting a cake. We're not buying you a cake.
I don't want no cake.
The cake is a lie.
I'll make I think I am gonna have somebody knock on your door and sing to you though.
Oh, Lord. No, I was just saying I can't believe where the time has gone. That's all I was saying. 50 episodes.
Let's see. When did I meet you guys? Late August or mid August?
Yeah.
That's when I joined TikTok. So wow, we're almost in November. So wow, time is flying.
Time flies when you're having fun, man.
Yep.
And we hope you guys have had fun with us today. If you've not hit the like and share, subscribe, all that, please do so. It's been fun. It's also been real fun. So thank you guys for joining us. This episode was brought to you in part by Heaven Sent Hellbent Gear. Go to hshbgear.com, 15% off, promo code MARRIED, and Styles Apparel, where we keep you in the latest styles of women's fashion. Styles with a Z. StylesApparel.com. Thank you guys so much. Peace.
All right. Peace.
See you guys.